Leak by the takeoff.
God, while I'm waiting for people to join me on this panel, there's another character that also had a lot of childhood trauma growing up too. But a lot of people probably like, what is you talking about? And this character in particular, especially like if you were anime head like myself, like I love me some anime. This character right here also went through a lot of childhood trauma too. That right there is my homeboy Vegeta. Anybody who knows anything about Dragon Ball Z knows who Vegeta is. Vegeta, as he likes to call it, he is the Prince of all Saiyans. He'll let you know that in a heartbeat. He will let you know that in a heartbeat that he is the Prince of all Saiyans. He loves to tell people that without the quickest win. Like he don't care. He'll tell you that. But the reason I brought him up is because he also went through a lot of trouble, a lot of trauma when he was growing up. Because, like, his father, of course, was the king, but his father also had to answer to a stronger individual called himself Frieza. Like, and he basically was like, excuse my language, y'all, he was basically Frieza's bitch. So dude had to abide by everything he said. He had to listen to him. And basically, after Frieza destroyed Planet Vegeta, which would have all the Saiyans, including Vegeta's father, he was enslaved by Frieza. He made Vegeta go on the planets and take over planets for him and stuff like that. And I mean, it was just a lot of stuff that dude went through. Like he basically became a deleting machine because of Frieza. But they're like, if anybody that watched Dragon Ball Z, if you watched the Namek saga, you saw a lot of Vegeta's human emotions start to come out, especially when he was fighting Frieza. Like because when he saw that he couldn't fight him, he couldn't take a Frieza was just too powerful. You could just see the inner child in Vegeta come out because he just felt so helpless. He's just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. How can I like and at one point you even saw him crying. Like it was just so crazy. And then like when the Dragon Ball Z Xavier Goku came to the scene and then with Frieza hit him with that zap, shot him in the chest. Like Vegeta was literally on the ground crying out to Goku to beat Frieza for everything that he's done to him. And Vegeta even said it like his dying words was, "He made me who I am. Please don't let him do it to anyone else. Whatever it takes, stop him, please." And then, of course, when you saw the story, he did end up defeating Frieza. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. And then, but Vegeta also, even though he went through a lot of that trouble, he did end up turning it around and he became a family man. He became a husband and a father. So, yeah, his story did turn out to have somewhat of a happy ending, though. I will say that. But he still will tell you in a heartbeat that he's the Prince of all Saiyans, no matter what. But right now, I'm done talking about all that. So let me introduce my other half, the the sidekick to my killing them sweetly. What's going on with you, Melody?
Hey, what is going on?
What's good? What's good? I'm glad to see that you pulled up to the show. I'm happy to see you.
Man, you know I gotta support my other half. You already know.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. You know I always, man. This just warms my heart, man. It just warms my
Aw.
heart. But yeah. So what you got to say on the subject matter though, Melody? What you got to say on it?
Okay, now you were spot on about the childhood affecting your adult life because as we see on these panels, especially my panel, because for some reason they feel very comfortable to come on me and your panel, Killing Them Sweetly, or just
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Melody Media's panel and disrespect the heck out of us. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're nobodies, but like on other people's channels, bigger channels, they have the utmost respect. And I think that's wild, you know.
Mm-hmm. It really is wild, man. And I just can't understand it because it's like, so out of all the people you want to show disrespect to, you want to show disrespect to people who can literally boot you off. You want to show
Right.
disrespect to people that could really silence you. And even though we're trying to have over here on what we do as far as like not having an echo chamber, like even if we don't agree with what you're saying, we at least still want you to have a voice. But if you're basically saying, F you to the host and stuff like that, then it's like, boo, we got to get you out of here. But once we get you up out of here, then we looked at as the bad guys. We trying to censor people. We trying to do this. We try to. It's like, no, like you're really holding our feet to the fire. You're making us have to do this. And it's like, no, I don't rock with that.
Right, exactly. And I'm trying to figure out what it is. Like, do you think maybe in their childhoods they had no friends, they couldn't get any girls, they wasn't having intercourse, when they was, old enough, like teenagers or whatever. And now it's like they get on a black woman's platform or whatever, and they just start disrespecting the heck out of women, or other people pretty much of authority. They just, I know it stemmed from when they were younger. Maybe in high school nobody liked them. They probably got picked on, bullied. um who knows? But all I know is all of this craziness gotta be coming from when they were younger.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you could just sense it. Like they got so much pent up hostility when they come up on these parents, especially when you're not agreeing with what they're saying. Like you could just sense it come off of them. It's like, dang, so we're not allowed to have different opinions from you. Like you just have to be right on everything. Like, come on now.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, it's a lot of helmets in the space. And shout out to you, Jenny.
Shout out to
Jenny
you,
Minna.
Jenny, man. Yeah, man. That's my homegirl right there. Jenny, what's going on, man? You still quilting, girl?
Salute. She seems
Yeah.
cool. She seems
Oh
like a
yeah,
good
she's
person.
definitely cool, man. She's one of those few people that love my laugh. So
Oh, yeah. So y'all know each other in real
yeah,
life.
yeah, we know we talk outside of this YouTube space. Yeah, so she always we talk about I got the best laugh and stuff in these spaces. So I'm like, okay,
Hmm. She's right about that.
hey,
But yeah, we spoke, about this where I had a lot of women and girls. Let's start from when I was younger, in high school, in elementary
okay,
school. A lot of girls were jealous. They would pull my hair, they would cut my hair. If I got a boyfriend, they would try to sleep with them, things like that when I was younger. And then as I started getting a little older, club days or whatever, 18, 19, 20, 21, I
mm-hmm,
started trying to make friends with girls, but they would just be upset because guys would try to get at me and not at them. And, they would do a lot of spiteful, evil things to me. And that affected me because now that I'm older, I have
mm-hmm,
no friends. I don't trust women, specifically black women. I can't,
mm,
I don't really trust them unless, it's somebody who's been there from day one, or maybe like a family member, something like that.
mm.
But it affected me. It
I,
did. It affected me
yeah.
bad.
I could imagine, man. Like that's that type of stuff that happens in your childhood. It definitely plays a part in how you interact with people when you get older. Like it definitely does. And people don't like to really think about stuff like that. Like because that's just like in my particular situation. Like I'm gonna peel back a little bit of the curtain as far as like how I am as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like because as
Mhm.
when I was growing up, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to get teased a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I wasn't always the swag that you know today. You know what I'm saying? I was just a regular
Mhm.
kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a short kid, short, big headed kid. Like even though the picture you see of me right over there, and yes, that's my childhood photo you see right there. Like even though I look good as a kid, but let's just be for real. Like
It's cute.
you know what I'm saying? Thank you, I appreciate that. But a lot
Mhm.
of people they always would talk about me because I always had what I like to call the Biggie Smalls eyes. You know what I'm saying? I had like a lazy eye, so
Oh,
people always would judge me, and they would always say, "Oh, you cockeyed, you cross-eyed," and stuff like that. I'm like,
mm,
first of all, it's not cross-eyed, it's lazy eye. Even when I used to go to the eye doctor when I was a kid, that's what they used to. That's the term that they use for it, is lazy eye.
mm,
Like, so it's like, what are you talking about? Like, but yeah, it got so bad for me when I was a kid. Like, I would even think about like going to get surgery to try to get it fixed. You know what
oh
I'm saying?
my
Like, and
God.
this was me as a kid though. As a kid, like, I of course, like, you know, when you're a kid, when you get teased a lot, you always want to try to fit in with people. You always want to try to be in the in crowd because don't nobody want to be left out. Don't nobody want
Mhm.
to be on the outside looking in and stuff like that. So yeah, I was like, man, I just want to be normal. I want to have a lot of friends. I want to be able to make friends. I want to be able to do all this stuff. And like I said,
Mhm.
and the kids used to always tease me about that. Like, and it always got on my nerve. I used to be at home telling moms about it. And she was just like, so what do you want to do? And I
Yeah.
was just like, yeah. And so at first I was thinking about it. And then when the doctor had told us that it's not 100% guarantee that it was going to stay like that if I got the surgery, that it's a chance that my lazy eye can come back. I was like, man, you know what, man? Screw it. I might as well just keep it, man. It's no point in going because I'm not trying to get something that could eventually come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I do that? That defeat the whole purpose.
Yeah, but I
So
see nothing wrong with your eyes. Like I saw you without your shades and you look perfectly fine to me. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, yes, I can make them straight perfectly. It's just like a lot of the times, it's just like a muscle. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I got to continue to work on it to keep them straight. You know what I'm saying? But you may see it, like I said, with the Biggie Smalls eyes, you might see it
mhm,
drift a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like, oh, I'm constantly looking at my nose or something like that, or
mhm.
like I'm looking at the wall and then I'm looking at this. No, it's not like that at all. So yeah.
Yeah, you are. Hey, cynical. Hey, classy. Yeah, you are.
Oh man, thanks for pulling up, you guys, man. Appreciate y'all for showing up, man. Oh man, that's what's
Salute.
up. Salute, salute.
Yes. But yeah, you are good looking. Like, even with me, even though I was a pretty little girl, and I know I was pretty looking back at my pictures and everything, but little girls were so jealous. They used to say, "You got a big nose." They used to tell me all the time I had a big nose. I had a big nose to the
Hmm.
point of me pinching my nose every night before I went to sleep, just sitting in the mirror, crying, pinch. And this was in elementary school. This wasn't like when I got older. This was when I was a little kid. And I would just sit in the mirror, cry, pinch my nose, try to, because I got kind of a flat nose and like a flat bridge. And I used to try to make my bridge straight. And I used to cry to my mom and tell her, "Hey, mommy, I got a big nose." And my mom's like, "Shut up. Your nose is perfect for your face. Like, it's nothing wrong with you." But I sat there and I let people make me feel like I had a gonzo nose, even though I didn't. And that affected me until probably high school. Even in high school, I was a little insecure, but I started seeing all of the attention like that I was getting. Men,
Hmm.
boys, everybody, was telling me how beautiful, gorgeous I was. And that kind of helped. But I was like, it's the girls. It was the girls because they were jealous because they wished they looked like me that will make me feel like I wasn't pretty enough.
Yeah, yeah. That's usually how it be, unfortunately, man. Like it really do be like that because even in my case, like, and I'm not trying to take it away from you because we go get back to what you said, but I also wanted to say, as far as like, my situation, it's like it seemed like a lot of the times that the majority of people that would always talk about my eyes was usually the dudes. Because when it came to women or girls, I never had a problem with them. Now, of
Right.
course, if they got mad at me, they would always say something because they always want to say some hurtful things when you get an argument. But like when we vibing with each other, we chilling with each other, they don't even bring it up. They be like, "Girl," they be like, "Dude, you cool? Why you worried about that?" But
Exactly. Like there's nothing wrong at all,
yeah,
but
and
it's just jealousy.
Right, right. It's just pure jealousy. And even to today, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of women that would come across me in the public, whether if I'm at work or if I'm at the store or if I go to a mall or a department store or whatever, like I still would get looks from women looking like they want to just tear me apart. And then, of course, there's some dudes like, man, what's wrong with that dude's eyes, man? What's up with him? That's why a lot of the times I wear shades and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, even though I can walk around without them, it's no big deal. It's just like, I just don't feel like dealing with bullish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I guess it's for both. Like you just said, it's always the same gender that's hating.
Yeah.
It's never the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah, and then like in your position, like girl, I don't see nothing wrong with your nose. Like there's nothing wrong with your. And I see the a picture of you when you was a kid. It was nothing wrong with your nose, did? I was like, what the hell?
No, it was not. Like it was nothing wrong with my nose, but the girls, it was just the little girls that was jealous. And I hate to say this, but a lot of them, I think some of it was colorism. A lot of them were a lot darker than me. It was a lot. So
Right.
it could have been anything.
Yeah, just pure jealousy. Plus, I mean, they probably knew deep down that you was prettier than them, and you was gonna get a whole lot of people to give you more attention than they was gonna get. So they probably would have just stopped that down, so that way they could claim all the attention for themselves, and they'd be like, "See, she don't even think that she the ish." You know what I'm saying? So why don't you just come mess with us? Because we know we fly, we know we this, we know we that. La, la, la. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, and the subject we just covered yesterday. Do you think that's why a lot of these women who are really pretty and don't need surgery, do you think that's why they're getting surgery because of their childhood is still following them that, oh, they don't think they're good enough?
I was thinking about that the entire time we was doing the show, honestly.
Right.
Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like I really was thinking about that the entire time when we was covering that Jackie O discussion because a lot of that does trigger, you know, what happens in your childhood because don't nobody become emotionally weak as an adult, especially if you were a strong-willed kid. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
So she probably or people like her probably went through some stuff as a child that constantly will always make them feel like they're not good enough, and they probably heard some people say like, "Oh, you got something wrong with your hips, or you ain't got a bigger butt, or you ain't got a nicer nose, and stuff like this." I'm just saying like when you're like because that's when you get attacked the most when you're a child is about your features, and like I said,
Mhm.
and that plays a role in what happens to you as an adult because all of that stuff is going to replay in your mind of what happened to you as a kid, and that's what's
Right.
going to make you think about, okay, now I'm older, now I can actually do something about it now because as a kid you couldn't do nothing without your parents permission, and 9 times out of 10 your parents gonna be like, man, you ain't getting that, you better get out of my face. So
Mhm.
of course, as a kid, you like, man, once I get grown, I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna get that done, and blah 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 blah. But like I said, they just don't realize the consequences of them potentially harming themselves by doing that. But yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with their childhood traumas and being told they probably wasn't beautiful and probably being told that they wasn't pretty or they didn't have the right body shape or stuff like that. Like they
Mhm.
probably did. They probably did go through that as a kid or as a
I think,
teenager.
yeah, because even when I was younger, I was skinny. I was always a skinny little thing, and I was petite. And a lot of people was like, "You need to eat. You need to gain weight." And I had like the perfect athletic build, because people used to think I ran track, but it was the females, and it was a lot of older women, older black women at that, who would tell me, "Oh, you need to gain weight to get thick and all that." But it's all out of pure jealousy because if I can go back to being 120 pounds, believe me, I will go back. Like, I mean, it's nothing wrong. And not saying I'm fat now, but
Hmm.
when I was young, I used to wish I was thick. Oh, I wish I had booty, hips, thighs. I wish I had big breasts. Like, I used to cry. Like, I'm telling you, I was so insecure when I was young. I used to cry. But now that I'm thick, I'm like, oh, like, what the heck? Like, I don't mind being skinny again. Like, like, what the heck?
Yeah, it's almost like now that you got it, it's like, okay, I don't want it no more.
Exactly. But like you were saying, pure jealousy from the same sex. They just want
Mhm.
you to be overweight so you won't be competition to them. They don't want any competition.
Right. They don't want no competition because because then if they have competition, that means they have to step their game up to get to where you're at or surpass where you're at. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly. Oh, you have a guess.